If you've ever tried to add borders to a pie or donut chart in Tableau, you probably noticed it only lets you pick one color for the entire chart, and there's no way to customize it per slice. I'm going to show how you can add borders for each slice, picking the color, adjusting the thickness, and even setting different styles for the inside and outside of the donut chart. And the trick to this is to double-click on latitude and longitude to add them to the view, which I know sounds weird because we're making a pie or donut chart, but these are Tableau's built-in map coordinates, and they'll let us stack multiple mark layers. So just stick with me for a sec while I create a calculated field for MAKEPOINT. I'll type MAKEPOINT of 0, 0. And this is just a spatial placeholder that tricks Tableau into letting us layer marks. So I'm going to add this MAKEPOINT field to the marks. Then I'll drag it into our view and add it as a mark layer. And depending on how many borders you want, you might need to add this multiple times. And for the last mark in this list, I'm going to change the mark type to a pie. Then I'll drag my metric, which is sales, to angle. And the field I want to segment the pie chart by, which is category, to color. And once I remove the latitude and longitude, you can see the pie chart. Next, I'm going to repeat that same process to the second and third marks by changing the mark type to a pie, adding the sales in as an angle, and the category in as a color. I'm using the same setup across all three mark layers so that the borders match the same angles and segments as the main pie chart. And this first mark here is just for the option of making it a donut chart by changing the mark type to a circle. This first mark layer is the top layer, and the last mark sits behind everything else. So for the last mark, I'm going to make the size slightly bigger so it peeks out as the border. Then within the category field, I'm going to add the text outer border. That way we can control the colors separately from the rest of the pie chart. And this next mark is going to be for the actual pie chart. So I'm going to make the size a bit bigger so we can see it peeking out behind the circle. And I'll keep it colored by just the category. This next mark will be for the inner border. So I'm going to increase the size a little bit so we can see it peeking out. Then for the category field, I'm going to add the text inner border. And this is going to give us 3 separate legends to control the coloring, which you can see on the right. For the circle mark on top of everything else, you can adjust the size to control how much of the center is cut out for the donut effect. And using color, I'll make the circle white so it matches the background. To make the borders thicker or thinner, you can use the size slider on the marks layers to adjust them. And because we have 3 separate color legends, we get to control all 3 sets of colors independently. So for the regular category legend, I'm just going through and assigning a few colors, and these are going to control the actual pie chart. Then for the outer border legend, I can edit the colors to choose darker colors for the outer border. And for the inner border legend, we can choose lighter colors. Or we can make both the outer and inner border the same dark colors. And that's the beauty of using multiple mark layers. It gives us full control over the number of borders, their thickness, and the exact colors we want for each one. And since it's all based on a metric for the angle, it stays fully dynamic with your data.